That's the Ben Shapiro show. I know, man. I'm gonna give you my commentary. This is the director's cut. I'm doing director's cut to the Ben Shapiro show now on my channel. This is director's cut. My analysis, my commentary.
With you making your business better. So you may have noticed that your business is not performing as well as you want it to. You know, we here at the Daily Wire, we have an optimally performing business. But one of the reasons our business performs optimally is because we use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter allows you to
use ZipRecruiter, man.
ZipRecruiter.com/dailywire is the smart way to go and find those candidates. Unlike other job sites.
Yeah, they want to find candidates to work for Ben Shapiro. Who wants to work for that zealous, xenophobe, jealous, attacking Trump all the time? Never Trump on! Never Trump on! Work for me and attack Trump 70% of the time. 30% when there's actually something good, then I'll say something, otherwise I'll tag him. Actually something good, then I'll say something, otherwise I'll tag him.
Now, my listeners can try ZipRecruiter for free.
Yeah, my listeners can try ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter.com. ZipRecruiter, man.
ZipRecruiter.com/dailywire. ZipRecruiter is indeed the smartest way to hire. Make sure your business is running at top notch at ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Okay, so we begin today with Nate Silver saying that the Daily Wire should basically be shut off Facebook. You know, there's a big story today.
I don't want Daily Wire shut off Facebook. You know, there's times I wish Ben Shapiro would shut his face, though. Shut your face.
Stocks have dropped dramatically as tech shares have extended their declines. All of the gains of the last year have basically gone out the window. U.S. stocks tumbled Tuesday, putting major U.S. indices at risk of closing below their October lows, according to the Wall Street Journal, and wiping out technology company sell-off led into other corners of the market as investors dumped shares of everything from retailers to oil and gas companies in favor of relatively safe assets like bonds and reliable dividend payers like utility companies. The result: some traders who stepped in to scoop up shares in late October hoping for a quick rebound are now in danger of losing those potential profits and more. This puts the stock market in a tenuous position, several of those people say. Justin Wiggs, who's managing director in equity trading at Stifel Nicolaus, says the buy the dippers are getting concerned, meaning that when the stock market goes down, you tend to buy more. That's what I do. According to his calculations, as of this morning, about 16% of S&P 500 companies are now below their October lows. Those companies range from tech giants to healthcare companies to energy firms. Now it's just, let's sell everything. Well, there are a couple of reasons that this is happening. One is Chinese tariffs are beginning to hit U.S. industry. America's soybean exports, which largely went to China, have now dropped by nearly 100%. Thanks to the tariff battle that President Trump is having with the Chinese. Whether you think that's well-founded or not, it's not particularly great for the United States economy. It's also
well, there's still no intel and manipulating our currency, Ben, so I'm willing to take it, Ben. I'm willing to suffer. The only tariffs I want gone is Canadian tariffs and Europe tariffs and other countries that we want trade deals with. But Mexico and China right now, they're not my biggest fans. Tijuana is why we need tariffs on Mexico and manipulating currency, and that's why we need tariffs on China.
Doing enough to let Hillary Clinton win the election. I really mean this. There's a tweet that went. Here's an example. There's a tweet that went out today from Kevin Roose. Okay, Kevin Roose is the New York Times writer, and here's what he tweeted. He tweeted, "Today's top stories on Facebook are from 1. Ben Shapiro, 2. Ben Shapiro, 3. Daily Caller, 4. 9gag, 5. TMZ, 7. Franklin Graham,
They let me gag.
Fox News." So the idea here is
let me gag.
Sites are getting too much traffic. It's bad, and my Facebook page is
getting too much traffic. Who cares, man?
The top stories.
Man, they're gonna worry about how much traffic Ben Shapiro gets.
This prompted Nate Silver.
I don't care if Ben gets this much traffic, but I do question though, why is he getting it though when you should be getting it to other people? You should be facing, listening to stuff I'm on you. Our sticks and Ep.664 over Ben Shapiro. So the question is, why are they going to you over Joe Rogan experience? Come on. Joe Rogan experience to get more views than you, Ben Shapiro.
The left has been in uproar about how to shut down Facebook, about how to make
shut down Facebook. Shut down Facebook. Well, shut it down.
And the mainstream.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
And this has been true since Dianne Feinstein was calling top members.
Dianne Frankenstein, you mean? Dianne Frankenstein? Call her name right, Ben. Dianne Frankenstein.
Maybe this might scare investors in tech companies.
And tech companies and tech companies.
One of them is the privacy issue. Obviously, people believe that their private information is being disseminated by these tech companies or grabbed and used by these tech companies. But that was always
grabbed, like grabbing boobies.
Election 2016.
Is that what you mean by grab?
Have suggested that companies like Facebook should be controlled by people.
Be controlled by trolls. Be controlled by trolls.
Distribution.
Hey, I think Facebook is a bunch of trolls, man.
They will only leave Facebook unregulated if Facebook pledges to do their bidding. Dianne Feinstein will only leave Facebook alone if Facebook pledges to shut down conservative websites and pledge to destroy conservative traffic base. Now, the reality is that Facebook does not discriminate in favor of conservatives, of course. And there are those of us on the right who have said that Facebook should not be regulated, even when they were destroying conservative traffic in early 2017 with an algorithm shift, as we talked about at the time. But the left cannot stand that Hillary Clinton lost. And so now they're going to try to control every business that allows them to control the means of information consumption. This is their new priority. That may be having an effect on the stock market. People fear Democrats in control.
The people fear Democrats.
Because they know that
they fear Democrats.
Are going to try to control business from the top down, whether you're talking.
I don't fear Democrats. I relish in taking them on with Gary McGinnis and the Proud Boys. They want to fight, I'll give them one.
All of these companies are deeply fearful of democratic governance. You know the reason that the economy started to recover under Barack Obama? It started to recover under Barack Obama because all these companies knew that there was a Republican Congress in charge. It means something when Democrats grab control of the and the fact that basically for censorship of conservative outlets on Facebook is
they don't need to censor anything, man.
Media are fully
they don't need to censor anything, man. Unless Ben shows his pecker on the camera, never needs to be censored.
Distribution systems in order so that they can control those from above. It's
from above. I don't want to see your pecker from below or above. Man, please hide that. Keep the pecker in your pants.
And that means that they can push information that is not supremely important. So, speaking of information that is not supremely important today, and then we'll contrast this with a piece of very important information today. The Huffington Post is very upset because Ivanka Trump used a personal account to send hundreds of emails last year related to government business, according to sources who spoke with the Washington Post. Well, that's not good. You shouldn't be using your personal email for government business. But this, of course, led people like Nate Silver, right, who wants...
Well, as long as it is secretive information, I don't really care, Ben. I'm not going to worry about this.
That treated Clinton's private emails like they were a national emergency.
Why are we worried about this? We shouldn't do it. Actually, I don't agree with you, Ben. As long as it's not secret or stuff that shouldn't be going on. Now, if it's secret information, then yes, you're right. But if it's nothing that needs to be private, and then that just needs to be private, I'm okay for doing that. It's no fail, so I'm not going to worry about it.
Virtually every public official that I know of uses a private email address to do business from time to time. The question is whether they are deliberately hiding that from government discovery.
Yeah, well, Colin Powell did it. Then what's the big deal, Ben? There's no big deal. It's no deal at all. Well, you shouldn't be doing it. Well, unless it's something secret, there was something that shouldn't be getting out there. I don't really care if she does it, Ben.
To her, and then it could be contained in that private server, which she could then bleach and then drill and then hammer.
Well, did she do that? No. So, Ben, why are you even giving this a time of day? This shouldn't even be a story. You just say Democrats are just bitching this to complain.
Hillary Clinton, we know for a fact, was passing classified information via a private email on a private server that was open to hack by foreign governments. This is not the same kind of story at all. And yet the media are in. And so this is just the hypocrisy of the Republicans. It's just the hypocrisy of the Republicans. Again, should Ivanka Trump be using a private email address for her business? No, of course she shouldn't. But until we know what those emails were and whether they were classified, until we have any evidence that she set up a private server and then poured bleach all over it, she's bleach bit, and then drilled it, and then hammered it, unless we know that, this is not the same thing in any way. Nonetheless, people on the left are going crazy over this. It just shows that Ivanka is super duper corrupt. And this is what they want you to be paying attention to. They want you to be paying attention to Ivanka Trump's emails that are not in any way, so far as we know, like Hillary Clinton's emails. This is what they want you to pay attention to. What they don't want you to pay attention to is a judicial ruling that violates virtually every basic precept of government in the Constitution. So here is the latest federal judicial ruling The New York Times reports, Miriam Jordan reporting, a federal judge on Monday ordered the Trump administration to resume accepting asylum claims from migrants no matter where or how they entered the United States, dealing at least a temporary setback to the president's attempt to clamp down on a huge wave of Central Americans crossing the border. First of all, I do love that now the media are finally acknowledging there's a huge wave of Central Americans crossing the border. 5 minutes ago, they were suggesting that it wasn't a threat at all. There was nobody crossing the border illegally. Judge John Tiger of the United States District Court in San Francisco issued a temporary restraining order that blocks the government from carrying out a new rule that denies protections to people who enter the country illegally. The order, which anywhere in the country.
They can't enter the country illegally.
It's absurd. There are hundreds of U.S. District Court judges across the United States. The idea that any one of them can issue a temporary restraining order against the federal government applied nationally is just insane. The judge wrote, whatever the scope of the president's authority, he may not rewrite the immigration laws to impose a condition that Congress has expressly forbidden. There's only one problem here. Where did Congress expressly forbid him from saying that if you enter the country legally? I'm not aware of the law that says that. I'll talk about this more in just 1 second. This is a big story because, again, this is the court stepping into areas where they have no business. We'll get to that in just 1 second. First, let's talk about your investment strategies. So as we've been saying, the stock market is really volatile. The stock market
Ben's got an investment strategy.
But now is a good time for you to learn how to use the stock market because you can indeed make money in the stock market. How should you do that? If you don't know that much about investing, you should check out Robinhood. It's an investing app that lets you buy and sell
Robinhood steals from the rich, gives to the poor. Robin,
everyone, not just the wealthy.
is that the Robin? Not just the wealthy. They steal rich and give to the poor.
With true confidence. It is simple, intuitive.
That's the redistribution of wealth, huh, Ben?
Easy to digest way. Some of my folks at the office here have been using Robinhood, and they've shown me how it works. It really is intuitive. And
It really is intuitive. It really is intuitive.
by doing. Right now, other brokerages charge up to $10 for trades, but Robinhood doesn't charge commission fees.
Doesn't charge commission fees.
Place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone.
4 taps on your smartphone. 4 taps. Tap, 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 like in a bathroom stall. Bathroom stall. 4 taps.
Robinhood right now is giving free stocks like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help you build your portfolio. Sign up at Shapiro.
Build your portfolio. Build.
Robinhood.
Robinhood.com.
Learn to trade this investing app.
That's Robinhood. Robinhood.
Robinhood.com to get that free.
Robinhood. Shoot your bows and arrows at Ben Shapiro. Oh.
Okay, so this judge says that the administration is unable, under the law, to prevent illegal immigrants, people who are jumping the border, from applying for asylum. So this, of course, undercuts the entire legal regime in the United States. And the entire idea here is to direct people toward legal means of applying for asylum. And one legal mean for applying for asylum is to walk up to the border, to a border patrol station, and simply ask for asylum. It is not legal, however, to jump the fence and then claim asylum.
Yeah, you can't jump the fence. I put a barbed wire on there. See if he jumps the fence then. Get shocked when you try to climb my fence. Put a barbed wire that shocks you throughout the entire southern border from California to Texas.
Our asylum system is being abused by tens of thousands.
Yeah, it is broken, Ben.
Every year, and they point out the president has broad authority to stop the entrance of migrants into the country, which is true if you look at the actual.
It's true, Ben. It's broken.
A set of advocacy groups can be found.
No shit, Sherlock. It'll take a rocket scientist to figure that one out, Ben.
So that illegal aliens.
Is that your great education you got?
Continuing to defend the executive branch's legitimate and well-reasoned exercise of its authority to address the crisis at our southern border. Stephen Dale Lower is an immigration scholar at Cornell. He says presidents indeed have broad discretion on immigration matters, but the bottom line is that the courts have now introduced conditions that don't actually exist in the law. The government's lawyers say the president has sought to halt a dangerous and illegal practice and regain control of the border. As Trump administration officials defended the regulatory change, they argued the president was responding to a surge in migrants seeking asylum based on frivolous claims. Ultimately led their cases to be denied by an immigration judge who migrants then ignore orders to leave and remain unlawfully in the country. If Trump can't actually just ignore this court ruling and enforce the law, then he is not doing his job as president. The courts obviously are wildly overreaching their discretion under the law. It's fully crazy. So how much of the media are going to cover this judge's ruling today in any way that reflects the state of the law? The answer is not much. How much will they cover Ivanka's emails, which are not nearly the issue that they're making it out to be? I promise you that the coverage will be blanket. The coverage will be enormous. Okay, in just 1 second, I want to get to proof that the media are as biased as you think they are. It's pretty astonishing. And this is with regard to Thanksgiving dinner. So Thanksgiving is coming up. You're going to have some relative you disagree with. And that relative...
Actually, that'll be you, Ben Shapiro, Mr. Never Trouble, Never Trouble. And that's why you're kosher. You don't eat regular food. So what kosher? You have kosher turkey?
My relative.
Is it a turkey that's kosher?
Invariably, somebody brings up politics, and then we have a discussion that...
I turned into fisticuffs, Ben?
With us saying...
You want to fight, Ben? You want to fight, Ben?
That's pretty much the only way that you can...
Oh, you don't like to fight, do you, Ben?
Now, the New York Times has put out a piece called How to Have a Conversation with Your Angry Uncle Over Thanksgiving. And this piece is astonishing. Why is it astonishing? It's astonishing for what it shows about the bias of the New York Times.
New York Times.
They basically put together a couple of model conversations in this piece at the New York Times. Model conversation number 1 is you arguing with your conservative uncle. Model conversation number 2 is you arguing with your leftist uncle. Okay, so what's amazing is the approach that the New York Times gives to the leftist uncle versus the approach that it gives to the conservative uncle. So the conservative uncle is a full-on moron. The leftist uncle is, in fact, a well-stated, well-reasoned blue state liberal. And so I'll give you an example. So I went through this last night because I was curious to see what the New York Times recommended in terms of how you should argue with your uncle at Thanksgiving. And it just shows you where
your uncle
on this sort of stuff. This piece is written by
crazy uncle. Go, 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 go,
so they
go.
have a couple of bots. You can either argue with your angry uncle bot, who is
Angry bot.
You can argue with your liberal angry uncle bot. So here is what
Liberal angry bot.
So
what?
The conservative uncle, according to the New York Times, says Trump has been
According to the New York Times,
It's booming. And then it gives you a series of answers that you can possibly give, including Trump's been good for the rich. Or
Trump's been good for the rich.
Saying Trump's been good for the rich, but not for everybody else. Or you say, how's the economy been for you? Now, here's the part where it gets really...
The economy's been good for you. I don't know, man. I think my life's been pretty good.
Is that you're supposed to say, so how are you doing financially? Now listen to how the New York Times rigs this conversation. Your conservative uncle is supposed to answer, how am I doing? Not that great, actually. But things would have been worse under Hillary. Okay, first of all, the Trump economy has been very good across the board. We've seen average wage gains for the first time in years under President Trump. So the New York Times is rigging the conversation. So your conservative uncle is a moron who has been doing poorly under the Trump economy, but is going to argue...
It's a moron, man.
It's really amazing. And then you're supposed to say, what are your biggest economic hurdles right now? And then your uncle is supposed to say, my biggest hurdles, well, no matter how hard I work, I can't get ahead. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Look how the New York Times is rigging your conservative uncle.
Paycheck to paycheck. Don't make it look bad. I don't buy the New York Slimes. Why would you buy that paper? Is that paper on record? They wouldn't report on the two Holocausts back in the 1940s and 30s. They're hiding it. Yeah, it's the paper for record. Yeah, on record. Who would buy that paper? I don't care. Yeah, they actually sell it down here. I don't know why. We're not in New York, but they do sell it down here, sadly. I'd rather them sell the Chicago Tribune or the Chicago Sun-Times from the city I love much, even though it's being destroyed by leftist libs.
And is suffering under the Trump economy, despite the fact that the economy is booming. Now, flip the script, and this is how the New York Times recommends that you argue with your conservative uncle. So your conservative
flip the script.
Argue with your liberal uncle. Right? Here's how the New York Times recommends you argue with your liberal uncle. So your liberal uncle says, we need Medicare for all. Healthcare is a human right. And you are now supposed to say, okay, can you tell me more about that? And then your uncle is supposed to say, this is your liberal uncle. Say more about it.
This is your liberal uncle.
You should go with
that. I don't know if I can have dinner with my liberal uncle. Only I can talk to him on Thanksgiving. You can't talk to leftists anymore, Ben. Socialists you can't even talk to.
well-reasoned professor is supposed to say how to fix it. Many people can't even afford medications or primary care. If we expand Medicare to everyone, those people can get the help that they need. And then you're supposed to say, so you think the government has a responsibility to make sure every person has basic health care, is that right? And then your uncle says, a right to basic health care? Yes, it's a right. Every day people die needlessly in this country because they can't pay for medical treatment.
Can't pay for medical treatment. Yeah, I can't pay for medical treatment.
So in other words, if you're a conservative arguing with your liberal uncle on Thanksgiving, you're supposed to agree with him. Okay, if you're a liberal arguing with your conservative uncle, you're supposed to point out to him that he's a poor moron. This is how the New York Times says that you should argue with your uncle on Thanksgiving. No, there's no media bias at all. None.
No media bias at all. None.
The New York Times doing yeoman's work to prove just how ridiculous they are every single day. Okay, meanwhile, I want to get to Hollywood, which is about to launch a brand new movie that we're all very excited about. But first, let's talk about your impending death. So,
how about your impending death, Ben? You gonna die, Ben? Please don't say so. I mean, I don't agree with you, but I don't want you to die, Ben. No, Ben, don't die.
Well, before Thanksgiving, that would be a very good time to get life insurance, because having life insurance is a good feeling. It means that you feel safe.
Yeah, you can get life insurance under Hillary. You see what it would, Ben. See if you can still get life insurance, Ben. Ben.
In just 2 minutes, you can compare quotes.
In just 2 minutes, it's that simple, Ben.
You save money. It's that simple. Policy Genius has helped over 4 million.
Policy Genius.
Over $20 billion.
So they're really a genius, huh, Ben?
Disability insurance and auto insurance and home insurance. If you care about it, they can cover.
If you care about it, yeah, this is Ben's advertiser. He's kissing ass.
PolicyGenius.com. Get your quotes. Apply in minutes. You can do the whole thing on your phone. Policy Genius is indeed the easy way to compare and buy life insurance. No reason for you to plot without making sure your family's taken care of. That's irresponsible. Instead, go to.
That's irresponsible, because Ben is very responsible.
Okay. Meanwhile, Hollywood is getting ready to launch a brand new film. It was on the cover of the Hollywood Reporter. It's an Oscar bait film. Ooh, who's excited? First of all, when I say Oscar bait, you should immediately run for the nearest doors, because it means that it's going to suck. Whenever Hollywood makes a movie that is so-called Oscar bait, it is basically just going to be a left-wing claptrap version of a mediocre story, like The Shape of Water, which was just awful. But there's a new movie that is coming out, according to the Hollywood Reporter, and this new movie is called Vice. Ooh, what's it about? Well, what it is about is Vice President Dick Cheney. Did we need another movie about Dick Cheney? Did we need a movie about Vice President Cheney?
Do we need the first movie about Dick Cheney? No, we didn't even need the first one about Dick Cheney.
Again, this is not the first attempt to get the Bush administration. There was a movie called W with Josh Brolin, which failed dramatically.
I mean, the only Dick Cheney movie I would see if it's just a docu on his heart transplant. I want to see how he gets the pacemaker he put in his body. That's it. Otherwise, I don't care about Dick Cheney.
There was a movie called You're Welcome, America, which is a Broadway play starring Will
You're Welcome, America.
Played George W. Bush as stupid Jeb Bush.
A stupid Jeb Bush? I don't know, man. George W. Bush just plays stupid.
From taking
Talking about going to Afghanistan and we end up in Iraq. GPS messed up there? I think he just plays stupid.
Why are we still doing movies about George W. Bush when the only movies anyone has ever made about Barack Obama are about how he kissed his then girlfriend Michelle Obama and it tasted like chocolate, which was an actual.
It tasted like chocolate? I don't think that's chocolate, Ben. I think that's poo.
McKay hates Bush. Right? He says that he went to a victory party for John Kerry in 2004, and it says everyone you could imagine was there. Tom Hanks, Nicole Kidman, Will Ferrell. These guys after the disaster.
The Hollywood elitists.
Frank Rich was on the phone, and he's like, "It's over." And within 2 minutes, the entire party had cleared out. This movie is going to cost $60 million. It's a $60 million budget for a movie about Vice President Cheney, in which Christian Bale puts on 45 pounds and plays Cheney as a Machiavellian devil who wants to send Americans.
Dick Cheney.
The cast is huge. It includes Sam Rockwell as W, and Steve Carell as Donald Rumsfeld, and Tyler Perry as Colin Powell. According to McKay,
Colin Powell sold out and became a lefty, co-paying Democrat.
What McKay says. He says,
Socialist, maybe?
Over Bush and Cheney. Donald Trump has no belief system. So I would take the hyenas, the random wild animals running through the White House over Cheney any day of the week. Now, the reason that I point all of this out is because it just demonstrates that all
It just demonstrates
why they don't like President Trump. They are just that. They are lies. Okay, the left doesn't like President Trump because President Trump is not a leftist. It is that simple. They hated George W. Bush. They hate Donald Trump. In fact, as McKay says, he hates George W. Bush more than he hates Trump. Not because George W. Bush was less classy than Trump or something, but because George W. Bush was more ideologically conservative than Trump. The left hates conservatives.
No, Ben. No, Ben. There's no auto bailouts. Bank bailouts are pathway to citizenship. I mean, yeah, I guess a pathway kind of did offer it with the DACA thing, but they didn't take them up on it. But there's no bank bailouts, auto bailouts. How is Bush more conservative than Trump again? I mean, Trump's not an ideologue, but he's been acting way more conservative than Bush. What are you talking about, Ben? Don't lie, Ben. That's why I'm doing this, to keep you honest, man. That's why I'm doing the commentary. And director's cut edition of the Ben Shapiro Show.
Much of leftist thought is based on just scorn, sneering, scathing scorn against people who are conservative in policy. It has nothing to do with the personality of the commander-in-chief. So when you hear people on the left say, Donald Trump has really robbed the Oval Office, really robbed the Oval Office of its dignity, understand, this is not why they dislike President Trump. They dislike President Trump. President Trump does not agree with them on politics. It's the same reason that they hate President Bush. They hated President
That's
Bush.
right, Ben. That's right, Ben. That's right, Benny boy. That's right, Ben Shapiro.
And elevate somebody like President Trump. Why? Because President Trump is fighting a cultural battle with these people. Hollywood has been sneering at us for decades.
Yeah, Hollywood wants to boycott Georgia and Atlanta and Savannah and all those places, man. Can you believe that? And Augusta. They don't like Georgia, man. They want to boycott Georgia, so I guess you won't go to the Masters this year. I don't want to see no liberal elite at the Masters with the green jacket because they don't like Georgia. They shouldn't show up to that either.
And for John McCain.
Boycott the whole damn thing. Why don't you bankrupt the new version of Dynasty who's done out of Georgia? Yeah, you stupid Hollywood dummies.
Classy and nice doesn't matter to you people. And in fact, we need somebody here who's not going to be classy and nice because you don't deserve classy and nice. You're jerks. You deserve to be smacked in the head as hard as humanly possible. And you know who can do it? This guy over here. This guy with the hair. That guy can do it. It is because of people like Adam McKay that Donald Trump is president right now. Now, we can't take this too far on the right. Okay, the problem for conservatives is that Adam McKay and his colleagues are not the target audience. It's entertaining for us that Adam McKay and Hollywood get slapped. Right? That's great. I enjoy it too. But there's a bunch of people in the middle of the country who don't really like Adam McKay's take on conservatives, and they don't like the slap back from the right. And what they actually are looking for is somebody who can punch back, from time to time, when appropriate, but somebody who does bring class to the Oval Office. If President Trump can find that, if he can find that happy center, then he will win re-election. If he cannot, then there's a good shot that he won't. But it is important to remember what exactly drove the movement behind President Trump. What drove the movement behind President Trump?
I kind of like it, they sus back. And Classy's been doing out years ago since Bill Clinton. I mean, you looking for class now? I mean, come on, man. After the damn Oval Office, they had to freaking spray throughout the whole White House to fumigate his filth on Monica Lewinsky. I don't know if you can bring Classy back after that, Ben, no matter who's the president. Guns and God, guns and God, I love my guns and God, I love my guns and God, guns and God, I love my guns and God.
Index and middle finger. If that's the guy, who we're going to pick. And guess what? In cultural terms, it's actually working.
It's working, man. I love Trump. Trump's my president. Trump is my president. Yeah, I support my president. Someone I disagree, but.
Well, now they have decided they're not going to host a comedian anymore who just goes there and rips into President Trump and Republicans. Instead, they're going to bring in Ron Chernow, who's a biographer of the various presidents. And instead of being nerd prom with comedians and Comedy Central figures, it's going to be an actual historical lecture by Ron Chernow, and it'll be about journalism. So President Trump somehow fixed the White House Correspondents Association dinner. Why? Because he said he wasn't going to go. He said he wasn't going to go, and so he ended up fixing the dinner. This, of course, made Hollywood crazy. Michelle Wolf, who made a name for herself last year at the White House Correspondents Association dinner.
Got our show canceled in 3 weeks on Netflix. They already canceled it, and then we knew it. I think it was after only 3 shows. They said, nope, you're done, honey. You're not even funny, Michelle.
Well,
Wolf.
what? Of basically finishing the dinner? Of destroying the dinner? The media destroyed themselves, and President Trump allowed them to do it. These cultural battles are one of the reasons the right loves President Trump. There's great benefits.
That's why I love President Trump, man. That's why I love President Trump.
Again, I don't think that it's a case of we have to pick one or the other. We can fight the culture war at the same time that we act classy. If we can do that, we'll win.
We're classy. Are you worried about being classy now? We're not so far in the gutter because let's drag this to the gutter. And you think we're going to be I mean, you ain't said the classy? Oh, yeah, classy in the gutter, yeah.
Let's talk about your
Good luck with that one, Ben. There's no classy in the gutter, Ben. Come on, Ben. You're not classy when the left brings us to the gutter and you said this to be classy? Classy is thrown out 20 years ago with Bill Clinton, man. 20 years ago when Michael Lewinsky, I need to desk. Oh, honey. Oh, my God. Go lower. Go lower. Yeah.
Not against you. That means no bunching, no riding up. So if you're still on the fence,
Sick, really?
Tommy John would be a memorable gift.
Tommy John.
You're not going to have to
Tommy John.
friends and family tugging it anymore. And
Tugging and hugging.
There's something for everyone on
Tugging and hugging.
Go check it out. Tommy John. Give the gift.
Tommy John. Tommy John.
You save 20% on your first order at TommyJohn.com.
TommyJohn.com. Tommy John.
Order again. TommyJohn.com.
Tommy John.
I'm wearing Tommy John underwear right now. They are super comfortable.
TMI, Ben. We didn't need to know that. You want to model your Tommy Johns for the ladies? Woo! Look at how high he is in his Tommy Johns. Yeah! Woo!
Very excited about. I will explain in just a second. First, you're going to have to go over and subscribe at dailywire.com.
Actually, I don't have to because it's not the live feed. It's actually on there. It's just an audio version, but that's fine. I can still keep recording, Ben. I get the live, I just do the YouTube portion, but when it's taped, I get the Daily Wire portion too, even if it's just audio. Hey, stop being on Michael Knowles. He's the only reason why I like the Daily Wire. I watch the Daily and the Michael Knowles, man. He's great, man. He's the only good show you have on there. Oh yeah, that's right. You have another one too. It's Michael Knowles is good, and what's the other one? Andrew Cleveland. He's good. He's good too. That's right, Andrew Cleveland. Oh yeah, the leftist tears Tumblr. The leftist tears Tumblr. Again, it's the tears, baby. They come flowing. Yeah, it's kosher tears too. It's for my Jewish faith kosher. It's great. And did you know my wife is a nurse? Did you know my wife's a nurse? Did I mention that enough? My wife's a nurse. And I have a nice little daughter at home too. I get home and take care of. Yeah, I got a nice little daughter too. Yeah.
We get to the craziest story of the day, and we're talking here about the fact that Republicans can be sucked in, I think, by Hollywood's hatred for Republicans into fighting this culture war. And the culture war is really important. I wrote an entire book called Primetime Propaganda.
Primetime Propaganda, Ben.
Conservatives as lesser human beings. And this latest example is they're spending $60 million on just to make fun of Dick Cheney. Like, this is a perfect example of that. And this is why people on the right really love President Trump, because he doesn't take crap from people.
That's right, Ben. We don't take crap. Like the never Trumpers say, just go be above it all and just take the high ground. Is any high ground left?
But it is also important to
since they lowered the ground so far to the gutter, I don't know if there's any high ground left, Ben.
Mistakes. Right now, there's a narrative that's going around on the right. Democrats are sort of falling apart. And this is being pushed by some folks on the left who want to see an internecine warfare among Democrats. So, for example, they're pushing this idea that 16 Democrats have released a letter urging not to support House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi to be Speaker of the House. The letter indicates Pelosi has a bit of a math problem, but she's going to be able to overcome the opposition. For starters, there were supposed to be 17 signatures. Representative Marcia Fudge of Ohio, who's deeply
Marcia Fudge.
with the speaker on herself,
Fudge.
from the letter. And this is the important point.
Fudge.
Folks on the right are waiting for a Bernie Sanders versus Hillary Clinton brawl, free-for-all in the Congress. They are thinking that Democrats are going to schism the way that they did in 2016. I have my doubts that that's actually going to happen. I think that's
I think it's more likely going to happen. Ben Shapiro
the Democratic Party
is going to run for office. Is more likely going to happen. Ben Shapiro 2020 to knock off Donald J. Trump. Hey, yeah, I got the 2020 tickets. I'm classy and I stay above the fray and I don't get into the gutter. I'm gonna win.
This person doesn't know things about politics. That is not our fault. That's your fault for elevating that person to a lead position. I don't remember the left taking the same position about, for example, Sarah Palin, when they mocked the living daylights out of Sarah Palin for stuff she didn't even say. I don't remember them saying, well, kind of mean of us to mock this Sarah Palin. They said, you picked her for VP, we get to mock her. Okay, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, you elevated her, we get to mock her. That said, Ocasio-Cortez is proving that the left wing of the Democratic Party is willing to work with the mainstream wing of the Democratic Party. They're willing to move the party over.
Cortez is a stupid woman. She thinks there's three branches of Congress.
In this battle, she says that
I mean, House, Senate, what's the third one? We're not talking about the presidency. She means there's three in the Capitol building.
Change how government works, to change what government even looks like. But if we are not on the same page about changing the systems and the values and how we're going to adapt as a party for the future, then what is the point of just changing our party leadership just for the sake of it?
Okay, and this is smart politicking by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. So before the right thinks that the left is going to fragment, I don't think the left.
Man, that sounded very smart. What happened, man? Who's taking over her body? Is that Stephon Arquette from Family Matters? Is actually intelligent? Because before she was the ditzy little dumb bitch. Now she got that little smartness gene now?
So we shouldn't be.
She sounded very smart in that one.
Exactly about the Democrats.
Wow, that was intelligent in you for a change.
Moving to co-opt their own base. The mainstream Democratic Party has embraced talk of voter suppression and voter fraud. Their mainstream Democratic Party is in fact unified. So opposition creates unity. It does. If Republicans were more unifragmented when they're in the opposition. Right now, the Democrats are in the opposition. This gives them the power of unification. And if Republicans don't recognize that, then they are making a crucial political error. Now, with all of that said, the Democrats, as I say, are moving radically to the left. I have a couple of stories to prove that, which I'll get to in just 1 second. So, story number one, proving that the Democrats are moving radically to the left. It's quite fascinating. Right now, there is a battle inside the far left hardcore base of the Democratic Party as to whether anti-Semitism is okay. This is broken out into the open with regard to the Women's March. So, according to James Barrett over
the Women's March,
the leadership of
the Women's March,
one of the most vocal supporters, including the woman who founded the group, and actresses Alyssa Milano and Deborah Messing. The embattled leaders have since responded to criticism with an
Alyssa Milano.
Earlier this year,
yeah, from what? Who's the boss? In Charmed? In Melrose Place? Oh, yeah. That little bitch?
To condemn notorious racist bigot and anti-Semite Louis Farrakhan. The petition raised many
Louis Farrakhan?
to join the Women's March because they did not feel comfortable with the current leadership. Now, Women's March participants also no longer feel represented by this organization due to the behavior of its current leadership. And so they say they refuse to march behind those particular leaders. Both Milano and Messing disavowed the Women's March due to its current leadership. On Monday, the Women's March founder, a woman named Teresa Shook, added her voice to the growing chorus of feminists calling on all of these leaders to step down for allowing bigotry, racism, anti-LGBT sentiment, and anti-Semitism to become part of the platform. She called for the current co-chairs to step down and let others lead who can restore faith in the movement and its original intent. The leaders instead fired back, and they said that they will not step down. They said that we don't know everything, we have caused harm, at times we have responded with hurt, but we are committed to learning, and we are building an intersectional movement our daughters and our daughters' daughters can be proud of. Now, why do I think that the Women's March will survive all of this? Because I think instead, what you're going to see is the mainstreaming of anti-Semitism. I think what you're going to see is the left growing more radical in every conceivable way, including the mainstreaming of anti-Semitism. The latest indicator of that mainstreaming is not just their embrace of two congresswomen who have overtly called
Two congresswomen.
but the mainstreaming of that sentiment among corporate entities that reside on the political left. Airbnb, the home rental company that is often used in locations around the globe, for example, announced yesterday that it would not allow Jewish settlements to be listed in Judea and Samaria. In other words, they say that if you are a Jew and you live in Efrat, in Israel, they will not allow you to rent out your apartment on Airbnb. This is a sheer form of corporate anti-Semitism, but it's okay with the left. Because anti-Semitism is okay with the left so long as the anti-Semitism is coming from people who are more dispossessed than
Airbnb.
Not only did Airbnb specifically target Israeli settlements, they only targeted Jews. Okay, so they weren't
saying only targeted Jews.
They said they won't rent any Jewish-owned apartment in Efrat. So if you're an Arab, or if you're a Christian, you're a Muslim, then they will allow you, as long as you're not a Jew, rent your apartment in Efrat. But if you're a Jew, then they will not allow you to rent out your apartment in Efrat on Airbnb. Airbnb lists apartments in Turkish-occupied Cyprus, occupied Sahara, Chinese-occupied Tibet, Russian-occupied Crimea. They rent apartments in some of the most dictatorial places all around the world, but they will not allow a Jew to rent out his apartment in East Jerusalem where he is living legally. This is corporate anti-Semitism, and it's totally okay with the far left, because again, the far left...
Well, you're a free market, Ben, so there's nothing you can do about it. No government getting involved. You don't like it, start your own Airbnb. Or is it Airbnb? The Airbnb Shapiro. Winter House of Airbnb Shapiro. And we'll let you read out in the Jerusalem countries.
The right in this country has not shifted its political position since 2010. All movement on the political spectrum, every bit of it. Further and further to the left, and is cohesive in that move, specifically now, because they exist in opposition to President.
Opposition? What are you trying to say, Ben?
That's some pretty funny side effects. This
very funny side effects, like this, baby. That's my side effects.
Why? Because it was supposed to cater to women, and not all women have vaginas.
Vagina monologue. Is that you did say vagina monologue?
Because it's about women, and there are some transgender men who are women. Pretty spectacular stuff. It's funny, but it's more sad than funny because unfortunately this is the direction in which the left has chosen to move. A sane left would be better for the country than an insane left, but I don't think that is in the offing anytime soon. Okay, time for a couple of things that I like.
Yeah, offing yourself.
So, things that I like. We've been doing some William Goldman stuff this week because he passed away last week. He wrote probably the best memoir.
Oh, you're boring now, Ben. I'm going to turn you off. You're going to be boring, Ben.
View of Hollywood and screenwriting. And
I don't care about this, Ben.
All of his sort of stories from Hollywood, how he got in the business, his dealings with various studio entities and studio heads and actors and writers. It's really fantastic. It's a great quick read. This is one.
It's a really quick read. You're boring, Ben.
It's really worthwhile. So if you're looking for a fun read during the Thanksgiving weekend, go check out Adventures in the Screen Trade by William Goldman. Okay, other things that I like.